Hello everybody, I'm Mox, bringing you yet another LEGO set review. Today I'm reviewing set number 71313. This is Lava Beast, in that saying. So I do just want to admire the front a little bit. There's all these set information right there, the choking hazard, and Lava Beast. Now if you can actually see here, I love the background design, it's amazing, but they made a little bit of an error. That's 2015 Tahoe. Yeah, that's a little wrong. There's everything else. Looks really cool. There's the rest of the information if you need to see that. No symbols on the top this time, which kind of sucks. But oh well, I didn't show them very well last time in my reviews. And then on the bottom, we have all the functions. Let's look here. We have the swinging blade function. We have the swinging hip function. And we have the mask pop-off feature. Combining all these sets will make this Destroyer Rack. I don't know his name. Then there's a comic. Storm Beast is angry. He walks. Tahu's there. He stands, and then they get in a fight. And that's the actual size of the mask. So, let's move on to the actual set itself. Now, instead of going through this guy by color scheme and articulation, I'm just going to talk about that one in all one big take, as I just discuss my overall thoughts, or not overall, just little things I noticed, first impressions. So first of all, I noticed that he is the tallest of the beasts, which was surprising at first. I actually thought he was shorter than Storm Beast, which I was expecting to actually be the biggest beast. So yeah, in terms of height, he does alright. And another thing I can notice is he has a lot more beef and length on the upper half rather than the lower half, which is one thing that does bother me. I don't know, it rubs me in the wrong way, I suppose. But everything else here looks fine. He does have a very large head, which a lot of people will consider a con or a pro. I'll give this guy a slow turn. And there are a lot of things that I do enjoy about him, specifically his color scheme from the waist up, just because I'll get on that a little bit later. But just looking at this guy, he's got a very interesting design. And the back, I thought it was going to look completely horrible, but it doesn't look all bad. The only thing is like this area, really. That's the only thing that really bothers me. Yeah. I guess this is the guy with the most solid color scheme out of all the beasts, I feel. Alright, so let's just take a look at all the functions and stuff now. First of all, like any of the 2016 Toa, he has the butt gear. The return of the butt gear. So which you just turn the gear and his body moves side to side. On this set, it works okay. It really depends how the blades are. Because if the blades aren't positioned properly, it'll just look like he's flailing his arms around. Which, I don't know, it doesn't necessarily look good. It depends how well he is posed. Another function is the mask pop-off function, which he does have this back here. Which doesn't work very well because it hits the that back piece there. So just, yeah. Which actually, there we go. That actually presents an alternate function, which I will show you. By the way, Ultron's head, that was a very nice piece to get. That is very interesting looking. I don't know, it's got a very devious look to it. As you can see, there's this new jaw piece, which can move. However, and here's just a look at that mask. Great piece. It's really wide, it's really flat on the top. Really creepy, in my opinion. But there's an alternate function to this, as he has the jaw. And you could just flip it off with the horns or the actual brainstock piece. However, one of the functions is to bring in your hero and knock the mask off like that, which I think is kind of weird. I mean, it kind of makes sense if like how people punch them from under the cheek and their head goes flying up. Like if you punch someone, like do an uppercut, it kind of sends their head flying up. But it doesn't. This guy, his face just falls off. I kind of have him in a leaning back position. I'll show you the legs now. I don't like these. They're just, it's not even the build, it's just how short they are. And he still is the tallest beast, which is weird. Sorry about that. He does have a stabilizer, pieces to actually keep him on the ground, which is nice. The only problem is that those toes are actually trans orange, rather than the trans neon orange that we get. So I don't know, that kind of, yeah, I don't necessarily like that. Speaking of colors, this guy has a lot of colors. He has the aforementioned trans orange, then he has black, then he has this burnt orange color. It's only 2 pieces, but still. Then he has regular orange, and then they say trans neon orange, and then he also has this a bit of gunmetal. Not really. It's like 2 pieces, and then he has this smoky piece, which is very cool. I love these. These are the new armor pieces. I'm not really going to talk about those. They are very nice pieces, though. Yeah, and aside for functions, there is one more thing left. On the back of the blades, there is a gear, and it does this. That's literally all it does. And these are actually supposed to be wings, which a lot of people will not see that. I don't know. He's just... A lot of people will not see that, and, well, that is... It makes sense. I mean, they're wings, but I don't know. A lot of people will not like that. He also does have articulated fingers, which is cool. They're on ratchet joints, so you can get it closed. You can actually hold the ultimate mask that comes in the set. Those fingers go up pretty far. Yeah, and I guess one more thing I want to mention before we get on to the next part is all the beasts have shadow trap parts, except for this guy. He does have a shadow trap piece, but there's no apparent use for this because all the other shadow trap pieces on the beasts can close. They can close open, but there's only one in this set, and it's just used as the back. I don't really get that, because at first I thought he was going to have a shadow trap on the back of his head, which would have just been weird. I don't know. No, that's weird. And the last thing is his chest design, which I think looks really cool. It's very similar to Storm Beasts, but not necessarily. So yeah, let's move on to the extra thing that comes in this set. So here we have a side-by-side comparison of both Lava Beast and Tahu Uniter of Fire. And here you can see a bit of differences and similarities. First of all, they're not really similar. It's like the opposite of each other, which is good, because Tahu has just so much gold. He literally looks like a bootleg because of how much gold he has. I don't know. I guess I don't think I dissed the gold hard enough in my review. I should have. Anyways, so there is an accurate size. So you can see he's like shoulder length, which is cool, which is good, considering the fact that this is not an enemy that Tahu is going to be facing one-on-one with. He's going to be fighting swarms of these because it's a massive villain, so there's going to be tons of them. So you can see how Tahu, our buddy, and considering the fact that they're going to be flying in and some of them are going to be fighting on the ground, you can tell how our buddy is going to have a tough time. Now, with this, I also wanted to introduce the mask of whatever. I don't know. It's like some sort of corrupted mask that these guys create. It doesn't really work well for this set, but you can see this one's actually brighter than Tahu's mask. I'll do a comparison here. This is my first time initially looking at both of these, so you can just see how... Oh, that's bad. The shadows are covering up. There we go. So you can just see how this one is way darker, almost to the point where it looks like a dark red. And then this one is just way brighter. So, yeah. And now that we actually have our buddy Tahu here, let's go ahead and see what the mask looks like on him as I put the mask on him and just try to fix up the lighting because it's awful right now. I don't really like it. There's not much to like. It's just trans neon green. I like the red, though. The red looks good. I don't know. Now, actually, both these guys have gear function blades. It looks alright. And by the way, the mask cannot, I repeat, look at my weird arm. Yeah, okay. The mask cannot go on Lava Beast. It cannot. So let's go on to my final thoughts about the set. So overall, I think this set is actually pretty good. I personally believe that he's the best beast, or he's the beast with the best color scheme. Only because there isn't that much trans neon green, which is something that confused me, because trans neon green is supposed to be like their blood almost, I would say. It's like their energy. It's where they get their energy, because if you look at their boss man, Umarak the Destroyer, he's flooded with it. So you would think that Lava Beast would also carry some trans neon green, just from the eyes. It is weird. I think it's weird. I don't know. It's not something that you would expect for LEGO to actually do, because usually they stick pretty seriously with this trans neon green, because they did the exact same thing with the skull villains, where they used tons of trans orange on each skull villain to represent the fact that they're under Kulta's control. and that's what they did here, except with Lava Beast they didn't really do. The Tahoe mask is okay, and actually I'll just wrap up my thoughts on Lava Beast. Cool set. I don't like the legs though. They bother me because they're too small. They're just really skinny. It just doesn't fit the creature with such a buff, or like a buff. It's kind of a buff design almost. And his head, actually, I never talked about how goofy his head is because it's just really big. It's really, really big, which I guess is okay because these are like monsters and that makes sense. But overall, I like this set. I think it's good. Do I recommend you pick it up? Why not? Yeah, sure. It's got coolness. It's got lots of cool pieces. So yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching this review, and I can't wait to review more. I'm just beginning these new waves of Bionicle reviews, and I'll talk to you guys again very soon. Goodbye.